The wait is over and the playoffs are here. Welcome in, guys, to the pre-scout. We're going to go over every single game on the board for the weekend in the NHL playoffs. Guys, this is WagerTalk TV. This is the pre-scout, and I am stoked to be here with you guys to break down the NHL playoffs. It's time to talk playoff hockey. The regular season is a thing of the past. The matchups are set. The lines are out. The series prices are out. It's time to dive into it. And you guys know, I enjoyed doing the every game on the board videos throughout the season. I loved going through all of the weekend games. But this is special. This is different. We've got series matchups to look at. We've got prop bets to look at. We've got side bets to look at. And of course, we're going to look at futures as well. So the first thing I'll mention, as I always do, is the pre-scout is proudly brought to you by the HOF app. That's HOFapp.com. My favorite spot to bet on props, my favorite spot to get insight on matchups, strengths, offensive, defensive. You know it. We'll use that all throughout the postseason to try and make some money with the prop betting market. If anybody wants to join me, you guys can, of course, always use the promo code Andrew to get 7 free days of the HOF app. And more importantly, 50% off your first subscription for anybody that is interested. Guys, we are ready to go with a very, very competitive NHL playoffs. Right now, entering this postseason at WagerTalk.com, we are rocking a 7-0, 5% NHL run. We are also the number one handicapper last 30 days when it comes to NHL hockey. So feeling good and no better of a time than now to be on a very, very good run. Happy to have Gabriel Morency, of course, from Sports Grid. You can find him multiple other places as well, at Sports Rage on X and multiple other spots. Gabe Morency, he always brings the heat. He brings the hot takes. He's got opinions, and Gabe is going to join me on the show here today. So, guys, without further ado, we are going to bring up Odds Logic, and we are going to take a look at all of the prices that we are dealing with for the games for game one of the postseason. Let's take a look at it. Let's bring it up because playoff hockey is here. And of course, Odds Logic is my favorite spot to go to. It is my go-to website. It's the best odds screen in the game. And let's take a look at these series lines here, guys. Of course, you've got the current numbers here across multiple books. A lot of them are similar, some differences. We've got the Dallas Stars opened up at -115. Some spots showing them around -125 now. Pittsburgh Penguins, average price is in that -150 ballpark. Carolina Hurricanes, we're seeing -170 at some spots, -160, even as low as the -150 when it comes down to it there. So a lot to look at when it comes to these games, when it comes to these lines. Tampa Bay, a whopping -240. Over the Montreal Canadiens there. You've got Vegas. Vegas right now, -170 against Utah. And we can go down the list. So for today's show, we're going to give you an opinion or a thought on everything that happens Saturday and Sunday in the NHL. Here he is, the man of the hour. Happy to have Gabe Morency. Appreciate him being with me here today. Gabe, look, the regular season's fun. The last couple games are fun, but it's playoff time, man. It's time to get into the playoffs. How are you?
Yeah, I'm glad that the playoffs are finally here. I do want to bring up, I think it's ridiculously Bush League of the National Hockey League, though, that your playoffs start in 48 hours, now less than 24 hours, but last night, and we don't know the schedule still. What are we doing? Right? I know they have absolutely zero concern for the fan, but some people actually go to these games. Some people have to get babysitters. Some people have to schedule their life, right? And work around going to a game. And the NHL playoffs, they drop it like it's a secret rave. Yeah, we'll send you a text a couple hours before with the warehouse address. You know what I mean? And you'll like it. Don't worry about it. Shut up. Seriously, we'll get to the picks, but I don't understand it. how the hell do you have teams playing on Wednesday and Thursday and then having them playing in the playoffs on the weekend? Say what you will about the NBA, whatever. The NBA season ended Sunday, and then, all right, I think they didn't need to wait the whole week to start on Saturday, but nevertheless, there's just so many frustrating things about the NBA and the NHL, but finally, the playoffs are here. We don't have to worry about motivation. It's go time.
I love it, Gabe. And yeah, we'll get to the picks. I know a lot of people, you know how it is. People are just here for the picks, not the hockey talk. But I'll tell you, I'm with you on that. And the thing is, as hockey guys, we'll take the respect for hockey as a whole. These players don't load manage, right? They're always showing up. If they can until the last minute, they're going to play the tough sport. But I saw your tweet the other day, and I appreciated your tweet because you said, hey, look, if we're going to stick up for the league and we're going to say all these things good about them, you got to be able to call out the crap when you see it as well, right? And I know people say the Olympics and that stuff, but and you said people have plans and babysitter. It's true. We have to know. And one thing I'll say is I don't think you need to have a huge break, but let's have some separation from, the Edmonton Oilers playing the Vancouver Canucks and then starting their playoffs.
Well, honestly, yeah.
Right? You can't be playing a meaningless game and then all of a sudden start the playoffs.
And that's the whole thing. So how many teams this week? And there was load management this week. There was in the NHL in the past week, but how many teams are like, son of a bitch, we got to play the Blues tonight. Whatever, dude. I'm scouting the Ducks right now. You know what I mean? Like we know, we're looking ahead here. This is the team that we're playing. And it also puts teams in a tough spot. Now, listen, I understand last night's a good example, right? There were a lot of scenarios that could have happened last night with the Kings, the Ducks, and the Oilers. And fine. That's fun. All right. We came down to the last night, and, you don't know, second place to the wild card, is still at stake here. All right, fine. But don't, make these teams play 48 hours after. You know what I mean? Like in the playoffs, McInnis, you're supposed to get an opportunity to scout the team and say, all right, we're going to have a couple of practices for this team.
Yeah.
Now it's basically like, all right, regular season's over, pack your bags. You're basically getting one practice, McInnis. Let's call that what it is. You're getting all right, you know what I mean? We'll practice on Saturday and, we'll do a little skate around today, but we'll practice on Saturday and we're playing Sunday. We're playing this team. I know you've seen the team through the year, but it's just not an ideal situation. In the playoffs, you're supposed to give teams a couple of days to prepare because now the marathon begins, right? There's no reprieve in the NHL, McInnis. They're psychopaths. They play all year. It's super annoying. If the Stanley Cup goes 7 games, it goes to June 21st.
Yeah.
We're going to be a week and a half into the World Cup of soccer.
Yeah.
The Major League Baseball All-Star game will be a couple of weeks away, McInnis.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you know what I mean? NFL train, seriously, what are we doing, guys? And then your training camp opens in August. So rookies report in July. and then the vets are back the first week of September.
Well,
it's insane.
Weekend, right, is usually July 1st. So when
do the NHL have a PA? I'd be what are you guys freaking crazy? We have no off season. We need an off season. We have no off season. If you play to the end of June and you want me back here basically in 5 weeks again. So I get a month off after playing, and now we're adding 84 games next year, McInnis, or whatever. Is it next year? So they ram that through. Think about it, 84 games, not to mention the stupid preseason, but let's just say plus playoff games. You're going to be playing 115, 120 games a year. That's good for the body. But let's get to the picks because I could go on and on about the stupidity of the National Hockey League.
Well, and let's not forget, it's one thing not have the schedule released, if you're waiting for matchups, but the East was decided already for days. I understand the West not being released, but the East was already decided. And I got one last bone to pick since you went on your rant here. The Montreal Canadiens and Tampa Bay Lightning series not having a goddamn, a Saturday night game. Are you kidding me? We're going to give a Sunday night game and then next week a Sunday night game again. Saturday night is a hockey night. That is old school. Saturday night. Do you know the buzz in the hockey world we get if they gave us they're going to give us a Sunday at 6:45 p.m. I don't know what.
I'll tell you what, McInnis. I saw early, and that's the whole thing. The NHL is so that people need to speculate on this. So they're very excited. I know, I've been there. I remember a couple of years ago when the Canucks were like playing the Oilers in the second round. I was getting mad. Announce the goddamn times. Like, you know what I mean? Because I was going to the games. I'm like, what time is the game at? What day is the game at? But the people in Buffalo are very excited right now. And I saw they were speculating about when the Sabres would be on TV. And so, it was Matt Bovey, I think, that said, covers the Bills and the Sabres, said, well, I would expect that the Sabres, he got it right, actually. He got the Sabre time right. He goes, I would expect the Sabres would probably not be in prime time, and we're probably going to get like the, an afternoon type slot. And he goes, because, Hockey Night in Canada has a lot of power, so I would assume that one of the Canadian teams will be on Saturday night. And I saw it, and I was like, no, Hockey Night in Canada has zero power. Yep. Zero. As you just alluded to. The Montreal Canadiens are on a Sunday night. The NHL, because whatever, we live in, Hockey Night in Canada on the Saturday be big. Yeah, that means, though, that a Canadian team is on in prime time on a Saturday night in the United States. Exactly. And they point blank don't want that. And they can't pretend that there's some, non-bias to this. There is. You don't want it. So tell me this, Gary. If you don't want Canadian teams on TV, and you can't deny it, it's point blank, you don't. So you don't want, how many times are Canadian teams on TV this year, on national TV in the United States, on TNT and stuff? And yeah, how many times?
Minimal.
How many? Twice? I think, whatever, the Oilers played the Panthers once earlier in the year, they put that on TV. That's it. So you admittingly not, we see you do not want Canadian teams on TV. But then we're supposed to believe that it's not biased with the calls, right? That you don't have a problem if a team from Canada makes it to the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you don't want them on TV. Like, dude, it's rigged. Let's just call it out for what it is. Like, the Toronto Raptors playing the Cleveland Cavaliers, it's going to be 5-on-8, bro. It's going to be 5-on-8. They don't want teams from Canada on television, point blank, and especially the National Hockey League. I mean, guys, look, the last team that won in Canada, last time Canada won a Stanley Cup was 1993 with the Montreal Canadiens. Gary Bettman became commissioner in 1994. Team from Canada has never won again.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty clear.
I'm just saying, so is it because they all suck so much?
Yeah.
I mean, so it's kind of weird. Like, wow. Because, it's kind of weird. They won in 86, team from Canada. They won in 88. They won in 89. They won in 91. I could rattle off suddenly, somehow, 1993 hit and ended, McInnis, and every Canadian team just magically got terrible and never won again. Yeah. But somehow they won 4 times in the previous 6 years before that, and 80% of the time before that all the time. I'm just throwing it out there.
And I get it. There's the business aspect of it, the ESPN, the TNT. And one thing that pisses me off, people say is, well, the Canadians would watch it if it was at 4 a.m. And I'm like, you know what? As a fan, I'd watch it at 2 a.m. if I had to. But that's the problem is that.
Yeah, but we'd watch any sport. I'd watch anything at 2. I do watch sports at 2 a.m. as it is.
All right, let's get to the picks here. We're going to go over every single game, Saturday, Sunday. We'll try and blast through it quickly. Hey, we're used to doing this show where we have 15 games to break down here, guys. So a little bit of banter. His nickname is literally Sports Rage. So what else can you expect from Gabe off the top of the show here, Gabe? You're living up to the nickname right away here. All right, let's dive into it here. First games here. We got Odds Logic, Ottawa, Carolina, Minnesota, Dallas, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh. That's the lineup for a Saturday here. What do you think? Ottawa and Carolina, game 1 opens up the postseason. Carolina is the top dog in the Eastern Conference. Ottawa's been on a fantastic run. There's no denying it. But Carolina, can they be the team that finally breaks through? Florida's out. They're not even in the playoffs anymore, Gabe. Can this be a year here for the Carolina Hurricanes? What are your thoughts on the series and game 1?
Going to be a fun series. The Ottawa Senators have been one of the best teams in the National Hockey League post-Olympic break, despite not getting great goaltending this year. But you know what's interesting, because I came across this with the Carolina Hurricanes. Over the last 3 years, they've outscored teams by 286 goals. Only the Colorado Avalanche have a higher goal differential in the NHL over the last 3 years. The Canes, and it's funny, in past years, I haven't bought into it. Everyone, the Canes. And I'm like, dude, we've seen this a million times before, right? And they hit the wall. They don't have that next level. They're a regular season, like, warrior team type of thing. Yet I'm buying in, McInnis. I know you're hot on Ottawa, and I understand that. This is going to be a fun series. I don't think we're going to have too many 2-1 games in this series, right? So I would expect there's going to be goals scored here. I think you could listen, guys, when you come into this stuff with the game ones in an NHL playoff series, if you like a team, you can sort of make the argument. It's like, all right, if I like the Senators, do I think they can split, right? And if you take them twice, you don't lose money because they're a plus money, right? So you hope that you sort of steal that first one. But I'm going to look at this, McInnis. I think Carolina are going to be too much for Ottawa when it's all said and done. These guys are relentless. They got 7 guys that have scored 20 or more goals on the team. They really do roll 4 lines at you. Like, it's just this constant, McInnis, it's just this constant forecheck, like, relentless pressure. They wear your defenseman down. You cough the puck up in your corner. Like, that's the way they play. They just want to beat you up, wear you down, and not physically beat you up, but, like, skate, where it's like, God, this guy's in my face again. Oh, here he comes. And it's like you cough the puck up. You make mistakes. I think they're dialed in right now, this team. And I think you can make an argument at minus 150 I see right now isn't that bad. Mm-hmm. I don't want to say it's a must-win game for the Canes, but I think they do feel the internal pressure. And to me, guys, you look at this, there's so many upstart teams in Eastern Conference right now. The Bruins, the Sabres, the Canadiens, the Penguins, the Flyers. There's not a lot of blue bloods here, McInnis. You know what I'm saying? Like, if not now, when? If you're Carolina.
Exactly.
It feels very Buffalo Bill-like, my Bills, where it was like this year where they fucked it up anyways. Like, you know what I'm saying? Where it's like, listen, man, it's like, dude, you beat Denver. Like, we can go to the Super Bowl. Like, you know what I mean? Get the Patriots. Like, let's go. And they screwed it up. But this is sort of like now, like in past years, guys, Carolina were good, but it was like, man, got to play a Tampa Bay Lightning, man. And then, all right, even if we survive that, we got to play the Florida Panthers after. You know what I mean? Because, like they played, like, tough teams, man. And now, not that these other teams aren't good. The Canadiens are good. The Sabres are good. Like, the Flyers have played great in the second half of the season. The Penguins are better than people realize. But if you're the Canes, there's not, like, a million obstacles in front of you. Like, you know what I mean? If you're the Carolina Hurricanes and you lose to the Philadelphia Flyers in the next round, maybe Brendan Moore does get fired. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're the Canes, no disrespect to Ottawa, but the path is there for you. I think they take advantage of it. I got the Canes winning in 6, McInnis, and I'll take the Canes in game 1, minus 150.
Canes game 1, Canes in 6. Gabe, since the last time you and I spoke, I've changed my mind a little bit here when I saw this bet out there. I'm not sure if I mentioned this to you or not. Plus 120, Canes win game 1, win the series. I really like that one. I mean, to me, those combo bets, I don't always fall in love with those. You know, people try and get a little too cute with their series bets or their props and all this, but Carolina is such a good home team. In the second round, a lot of the times what they've been doing is they win all the home games, and then they end up losing in game 7 is what's been happening to them a lot. Game ones of the past and round ones of the past, they win in. And here's one thing I think that you'll agree with me on. I think it's kind of interesting. The Hurricanes made one move at the trade deadline. Their move was trading for Nicolas Deslauriers. You know, that's their fighter, a tough guy, an aggressive player. The Montreal Canadiens made 0 moves at the trade deadline. They had the best stretch of hockey they've played in the entire season after the trade deadline. Sometimes the trade deadline is over-talked about, overlooked, and honestly, it causes chemistry issues. The Hurricanes said, you know what? The years passed. We almost sent a weird message to our team. Tried to pick up too many guys. Plus 120, win the series, win game 1. I love that combo bet. And to me, that helps me avoid that minus 150 price tag.
Yeah, and I don't mind that, McInnis, at all, because also, let's be real, if you lose, you know you've lost the bet right away. Right, all right, I lost the bet. It was game one. They lost. And then, it's the old hammer time, MC Hammer time in game two, where you come back with the Carolina Hurricanes to win the game and win the series again, right? You don't want to overreact after one game. But I agree with that take, too, that oftentimes, like, people live in this, like, free agency is another one, like in the offseason with these sports. Free agency it's just a shiny toy for kids at Christmas. That's all it is. Here's your new toy, and what happens to toys? The kid are like a week later, it's not good anymore. Like, you know what I mean? Like, everybody gets, oh my God, like, I see it right now with the transfer stuff with Michigan in basketball, McInnis. They're getting like, people are like laughing and criticizing them. Oh, look in the transfer portal. They didn't even do anything. Oh, you know what I mean? Yeah, they won the championship, but they didn't do anything in the transfer portal. They didn't do anything in the transfer portal. You mean they have the team that just won the championship? Guys, like, that are coming, the guys that are coming back? So they would be better if they brought in new guys as opposed to the guys that just won. That's what you're trying to say. No, but I think sometimes, like, staying the course, good point with the Canes, where I think they've tried too much. And, like, listen, they've tried everything, actually. They've tried stars. They've tried the team way. Right? It's just sort of they hit the wall in the playoffs. I think it's been the schedule. And great point. We'll move on to the next games. But great point by McInnis as far as home ice. I don't live and die by home ice. It's overrated. But with that being stated, the Carolina Hurricanes, guys, are a dominant home team. All right? And in fact, they're the best home team in the league. They won the most home games. And it would surprise you who's the second best home team in the National Hockey League, which gives them a puncher's chance in the series, actually. But give me the Canes in game one. Give me the Canes in 6.
Yeah, I don't write too much into home ice advantage, but there's one team I'll always use it for, and that's the Carolina Hurricanes. All right, next up is a series that we've known about for a long time now. We knew this was going to come because the Colorado Avalanche were going to win the Central Division. I'm talking Minnesota, and I'm talking Dallas here. Home ice advantage goes to Dallas. Miro Heiskanen, a little injury there, but this is going to be a bloodbath, a battle. Gabe, if I had to ask you to rank which series you look forward to watching the most, I'd have to assume this one's up near the top.
You know what? From a hockey perspective, I can't argue with you. From a hockey perspective, it's the best series, right? I mean, they shouldn't be playing each other. You look at the ridiculously like seeding of this. Of the conference, and it's a joke that they're playing each other. But it's not the one I'm most looking forward to for whatever reason. I think just because, I don't know, I don't really have, like, I'm not going to say I don't like the Wild, but I don't care about the Wild. And I'm going to be full honest. Like, it's human nature or whatever. It's just, I'll be honest with you, I hope the Wild lose. I hope Quinn Hughes loses. And I'm also going to laugh at the Wild fans and all you like, oh, I didn't want to stay with Vancouver. He ain't going to stay with you either. So he ain't staying with you either. Right? It came out the other day that Yzerman went all in and they had a deal in place. The Canucks and the Red Wings were going to make the deal to get Quinn Hughes in Detroit. Except Yzerman insisted that you got to tell us you're staying. Like, we can't like trade all this, and he wouldn't do it. He wouldn't do it. He wants to be with his brothers, bro. He's going to end up like he's a weird kid, man. I'm telling you, there's something off with this dude that I never liked. Even when he was on a Canucks, I was like, he's very Austin Math. I don't know, dude. Like, he's just sort of like this young, aloof sort of. It's not like, it doesn't feel like a hockey player to me, but he is. He's a great hockey player. The series, McInnis, is, like you said, I mean, as good as it gets from a hockey perspective, but it's hard for me to get in front of the Dallas Stars. Once again, we got home ice, and the Stars aren't getting a lot of respect here, are they, McInnis? I mean, it's basically a pick'em. You know what I mean? It's basically a pick'em.
They don't care about home ice, Gabe, in this series. The odds makers could care less about who has home ice here. They don't.
I trust Dallas more. I trust Dallas more in a playoff series. I mean, what's the take between these two teams? I mean, they're so evenly matched. Minnesota kind of stumbled down the stretch a little bit. I mean, all we really have, to me, Minnesota are the Chargers of the National Football League. Like, I don't know. Have we ever seen them get out of the first round?
Well, I would argue they're the Toronto Maple Leafs of the West, except for they don't have the same media. Like, they are the Toronto Maple Leafs of the West.
So that's what I'm saying, though. Like, we haven't seen them be successful, like, in the playoffs. And now it's just, but they have Quinn Hughes now. It's like, all right. Okay, so, like, you think the Dallas Stars, like, are scared? Like, you know what I mean? It is what it is. I mean, Minnesota are really good. I think it goes 7. I'll tell you what. I put my bet in, and let's, you know what I mean? We got to get to all the games, so let me load this up. I got so many sports books and different things open here. All right. I put some plays in last night, and for me, McInnis, I'll keep this one simple. It's -1. What did I play here? -190. Yeah, -190. Here we go. Yeah, -190, McInnis. Minnesota and Dallas series goes over 5.5 games. I would be legitimately shocked if somebody won this series 4-1. Mm-hmm. That's the bet that I put in. For the record, I also played the Canadian series to go over 5.5 games. I'm a big fan of that prop, McInnis. Over under 5.5. I did it a lot with the NBA playoff series as well. But yes, I would be literally shocked. And I don't say that because anything can happen in sports. So I'd be like, whatever. Anything can happen. Doesn't surprise me. They got swept. Like, I think like both, I'd be shocked, like I said, if one of the teams can't win 2 games in this series. I feel Minnesota-Dallas is going 7, but I'll take Dallas in 7.
I think there's a real reason the Minnesota Wild are 17-18-1 to win the Stanley Cup, right? Like, if you're
and you could argue those are great odds.
You could, but you could also say, hey, look, the odds makers know what they're doing here because they're thinking, how the hell is this the first round matchup? You know what I mean, Gabe? Like, that's
and then for Minnesota to do it, you're right. They would have to get through this, get through Colorado after, and then get through Edmonton or Vegas or whatever after that. It ain't happening. It's too hard, and not even to criticize the Wild, but that's a hell of a gauntlet to run. Exactly. And you can say the same thing about the Dallas Stars.
It's bracketology NHL version right now. You
have
to plan who someone has to go through.
That's why I like the Canes, bro. I like that bracket that they're in. No disrespect to the Pennsylvania teams. Great year. But like how all this started, McInnis, if you're the Canes, it's like, guys, we got the Ottawa Senators, and we're playing the Penguins and the Flyers after, and then we're 1 series away from the Stanley Cup. There's a path. Like you said, it's all about the bracket, and I love the Canes' path. And hell, I like the Oilers' path as well.
We'll take a look back to last year. Jake Ottinger, there was some type of weird issue that ended up happening with him and Coach Pete DeBoer. Of course, Pete DeBoer. New York Islanders. You know, to me,
that happens as it goes on, McInnis. That's why Dallas, I can't pencil them in for the Cup, even though I sort of was thinking about it before. That's the one thing. I've seen it before with Ottinger. Ottinger gets tired as the playoffs go on. He does. Like, he'll be great in the first round, and then by the time you get to the second or maybe to the third, that's when the fatigue kicks in. I've seen it time and time again with him. So that's my sort of feeling with Dallas again. Like, you're not knocking them off in the first round. They'll give Colorado all they can handle, maybe win, but I think they hit the wall as it goes on, Dallas. But I got Dallas winning this one.
Look, Michael McCarron, both Foligno brothers, there's certainly some physicality when it comes to Minnesota, but I love experience. And when I look at throughout the lineup, you've got Matt Boldy, Kirill Kaprizov, even Quinn Hughes, man. He just won a gold medal, but what kind of playoff experience did he get in Vancouver? Like, let's be honest here.
He's got playoff experience. They actually went to the second round in Game 7 against the Edmonton Oilers.
But you get what I'm saying here. I think you look at the old guys for Dallas. This is kind of giving me Last Dance vibes here for Dallas. I mean, if Tyler Seguin and all those guys, Jamie Benn, all these guys don't win, I don't know. Next year, the West is getting better is what I'm trying to say. I think that we're going to see unders in this series. I think there's going to be some series that go absolutely crazy. I think this is going to be a goaltender dominant series with this one. But I'm with you. Find a dance partner if you don't want the juicy price. Over 5.5 games. This is going to be a good series is what I would say in this one. All right. You talked about it. You said no disrespect to the Battle of Pennsylvania, but let's get to it here. Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. We talk a lot about experience. Gabe, the one thing I'm going to segue to you when it comes to this series that nobody can deny, experience is definitely on the side of the Pittsburgh Penguins.
You know what? A lot of people thought coming into the year that this could be the end of the line for Sidney Crosby with the Pittsburgh Penguins, right? And hell, even his agent, who rarely talks about Crosby, like actually slipped up once on a show, who was at Brisson, and said, maybe it's a conversation that's going to need to be had, right? About the direction of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Let's be real. I mean, once again, if we want to criticize people, how many people have been criticizing the hockey world as much as Kyle Dubas has, right? Dubas is a clown, Dubas this, Dubas that. And it's weird. Dubas is almost showing he's like a Moneyball guy, that analytic geek type, where he had money to spend and he couldn't do it. Now, McInnis, you know what I mean? He's like better in the kitchen with not like a lot of ingredients. You know what I'm saying? People are like, dude, you don't have anybody. Like, what are you doing? You didn't, like, you talk about not acquiring players. Like in the off season, people are like, you're gonna chase Crosby away. Like, you've done nothing. Like, you're killing this guy. What are you doing to his career? Like, you want him to leave. And here we are right now. And listen, I love what the Flyers have done. I wanted to see Talkett fail once again, like my own personal. I was like, screw him. But guy did a great job, man. Guy did a great. The Philadelphia Flyers. I saw a stat the other night because with the Vancouver Canucks in their last game the other night. The Canucks played like the most players in the league this year. Like the most injuries, the most different lineups, like the most whatever. It was just chaos. Dude, both these teams, McInnis, same thing. Like if you look at Philadelphia had a ton of injuries this year. Pittsburgh, ton of injuries this year. Different lineups, just completely overachieved. Great coaching, desire. Awesome stuff to get them here. The Flyers have been smoking hot, guys, post-Olympic break, all right? And I've been cashing in with them down the stretch here. The Pittsburgh Penguins, and I know you know this, McInnis, but I think people realize the Pittsburgh Penguins, there's only 2 teams in the National Hockey League this year, guys, that have scored more goals than the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Colorado Avalanche and the Carolina Hurricanes. The Penguins are an offensive juggernaut. They put pucks in the net. There's going to be goals in this series. You talk about someone will be low scoring, someone will be higher scoring. This one's going to be a goal fest. The total is 6. But to me, the difference maker here is, once again, the Flyers really are coming in raw here, right? They don't have postseason experience on their team. And so they're going to be guided by Talkett here. And then you get a Pittsburgh team that, like I said, is just an offensive juggernaut, has home ice. And to me, McInnis, the key of this series is, we all know when it comes to hockey, guys, in the playoffs, 5-on-5, there's not a lot of goals. Not a lot of goals, 5-on-5 in the playoffs, right? Everybody really does not play around and doesn't make mistakes. So special teams is massive. Point blank. Special teams is massive in a playoff series that is like a toss-up. And you know this, McInnis, and I know the viewers probably know this, but if you don't, the Flyers' power play sucks. It's terrible. It's time. It's the worst in the league. They're a non-threat, and they've tried everything. It's a they don't have a power play. And I tell you, McInnis, in a toss-up playoff series, and you talked about Last Dance. I'm not going to say that Sidney Crosby doesn't think he can win the cup, because that's what makes these guys who they are, right? Like if you told Sidney Crosby, it'd be cool if you could win this series. You can't win the cup, but it'd be cool if you could win this series, huh? He would look at you and go, get the fuck out of my face, you loser. You know what I mean? They're every team in the playoffs playing to win the cup, right? But we all know sort of, the scenario here with Crosby. No one thought they would even be here, McInnis. You talk about Last Dance. This ain't his last dance, but you know how badly he'd love to go on a playoff run, man.
Oh, yeah.
And, basically it's all right, am I taking Zegras or am I taking Crosby? You know what I'm saying? And even Malkin, right? And like I said, these guys, some of this is the Last Dance. Hey, this is fun. We're in the playoffs. Let's go on a run, man. Let's do this. Or at least let's beat the Flyers. To me, the special teams is the difference. Love what the Flyers have done. Give me the Penguins in 7.
Penguins in 7.
And wow. Penguins in game 1.
So we're getting a good series. Gabe says Penguins in game 1, though. Of course, we're here, guys, on the pre-scope. Gabe Morency, you can find all of his stuff at Sports Rage. And looking forward to game 1s and, of course, looking forward to the playoffs all together. It's going to be awesome. It is going to be awesome. And I'll tell you what, when you look at this series overall, you just talked about it. Experience isn't always the answer. But if you're going to give me Michkov and Zegras versus Malkin and Crosby,
that's what I'm saying.
You know who I'm taking. Look at this
lineup. And listen, if we said that, it'd be like, all right, I get your point. But if we said, yeah, but the Flyers have like one of the best power plays in the league, so like you gotta watch out for that. They don't, and in the playoffs, it really matters, guys. You can get by with hard work in the regular season, and Tocchet wears, Tocchet's one of those old school work type coaches. In the playoffs, man, 5-on-5. That's why I think the Kings are going to be dangerous, actually. Even though they don't win a regulation, they're hard to score on 5-on-5. Like, the Kings are like a good 5-on-5 team. So, but with that being stated, yeah, I agree, because it's too much. Maybe 6. I don't want to dismiss the Flyers. I think they are good. Yeah, let's say 6, not 7. I think the Flyers win 2 games. Yeah, the Penguins win the series. Penguins win game 1.
Well, great point by you about Kyle Dubas, because look at what he's done here. I mean, Anthony Mantha is probably going to end up signing for $5 million a year. He's making like league minimum, it feels like, right now on the third line. Unbelievable year for him. Malkin and Crosby on different lines, I think, is great. So you look at that top 3, it's great. And then the fourth line, Dewar, Lizette, and Achari, that's like a physical grind it out. Erik Karlsson turning back the clock. He's been fantastic to his old school days. It's going to be great. I will say this, though, and people have heard me say this on shows throughout the week. This series is as clear as day for me when it comes to correlated as far as overs for Penguins, unders for the Philadelphia Flyers. Yeah. If you like the Philadelphia, and you know what's funny? I like
the over 1.5 McInnis in the first period, actually, a game 1.
Come out with a bang. Yeah, come out with a bang. Yeah. But I'll tell you, like, it's funny. You know how, like, a lot of home broadcasts, obviously, they talk up their own team? This Philadelphia broadcast, they literally said, yeah, well, this Philly team, they don't really do a lot. They just do enough to win. That's pretty much what they do. Like, they win every game, like 2-1 or 3-2. Like, they just do enough to win, pretty much, right?
Yeah, they find a way. They find a way.
Yeah, they find a way. All right, Gabe, look, before we get into Sunday's games, we'll blast through them. You're live every single day on your own feed on Sports Grid. Let people know where they can find you.
Yeah, I'm on, our schedule sort of changes with the podcast and the live streams. But we're on weekdays at 6 o'clock Eastern on the Sports Grid Television Network, Roku TV, Amazon Prime, Sling, whatever, all the TV apps and all that type of stuff. With our best bets of the day every day at 6 o'clock. And in fact, Cam Stewart will be a guest with us today, joining us, talking some NHL playoffs and NBA playoffs tonight as well. So yeah, weekdays at 6. We've got an MMA show on weekly as well that we're proud of. Very good MMA show with MMA best bets and news of the week. The Combat Sports Report, that's on Friday nights at 7:30 Eastern as well.
Great stuff, Gabe, and always appreciate being on Sports Grid and your channel and your podcast as well. Can't wait for the playoffs. Like, every day is going to be just so fun to look forward to.
Yeah, once it gets going. Yeah, it's the best time of the year. I have great memories sort of being younger and partying, and, the weather is starting to get nice, and, like, basically, McInnis, I mean, you only got 3 games because whatever, the NHL is weird, right? So once again, so you got 3 games. But basically, you got 4 NBA games, too. Like, there's a few times in a sports betting year, guys, that are just that paradise. This is it. To me, McInnis. The first round. Like, first round of the NHL playoffs is awesome. But, like, first round of the NBA playoffs is great, too. I mean, these playing games have been sick. Like, crazy good. And to me, so basically, McInnis, you've got 4 NBA and 4 NHL playoff games a day for the next 2 weeks. That's 16 potential plays, like sides and totals right there.
Yeah.
That's 16. That's just not even with the props. That's 16, like, wake up in a day. All right. I got 16. Like, if you can't, like, basically I've told people this is the time of the year. If you can't get ahead, you're not winning, or if you don't see stuff you like, then, it's not for you. Because, like, now is the, like, I'm thinking, all right, man. And it gets harder as it goes on. Once we're into the second and third round, it's like the NCAA tournament. I think it's a good example. Like, this is like the Thursday and Friday of the NCAA tournament this weekend. It's like this is as many games at once as we're going to get. It's only going to dwindle as each round goes on. And then suddenly it becomes tough. It's like, oh, shit, there's only 2 games tonight. Oh, fuck, I got to pick that. Like, it becomes harder, right? Like now, it's like, man, I got 4 NBA games. I got 4 NBA totals to pick. I got all these NHL total options to pick. And I don't love the totals on Saturday, guys. They're kind of tricky to me. Ottawa, Carolina, I think is going to be a higher scoring series, but it wouldn't surprise me if they came out tight checking in the first game and it went under the 6.
Yeah.
Minnesota, Dallas, I can't bite at 5.5 one way or the other. Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, I do kind of lean to the over. And I do like the over 1.5 for the first period. But McInnis, the Sunday games, the odds makers are onto it because the Kings are going to want to shut this son of a bitch down against the Colorado Avalanche. But they posted a 5.5 there.
All you dive into game 1.
Yeah, well, they posted a 5.5 there. So listen, I think the Kings are good enough just to lose closely in this game, McInnis. You know what I mean? I think the Kings go in here and, they lose by an empty netter. Like, it's going to be like, oh, man, it was 3-2, and when they really played with Colorado. I don't think it's one of these Colorado wax jobs. That Colorado aren't beating the Kings 6-2 or something like that. The Kings are very responsible, right? They're offensively challenged at times. But you know what the Kings are going to do here. The Kings do not want to get into a track meet with the Colorado Avalanche. So it's ballsy at 5.5. You know what? Alt line, maybe at an under. My gut feel is it's not a track meet this game, McInnis. That the Kings sort of slow it down, but I keep coming back to like 4-2 Avalanche in this game. 4-2 Avalanche. I think the Avalanche will win the series in 5, maybe 6, but I'd be surprised if the Kings win more than a game. So I'd say the Avs in 5, McInnis, but close hockey. You know what I mean? Like we've seen that before. I mean, hell, when the Montreal Canadiens won the Stanley Cup in 1993, guys, they beat the Nordiques the Sabres in like overtime every game. It was like every game was like overtime, right? I think that was like 4. Who was it? It was like the old days. Fuck, was it the Hartford fucking Whalers? Like somebody lost like all 4 games in overtime to the Canadiens. So I can sort of see this happen, McInnis, where it's like the Kings play with the Avs, but you're good enough just to sort of lose. You're gonna die on your sword. You're not gonna get blown out, but you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose in 5, a bunch of close games. That's how I look at that series.
Yeah, they might not get knocked out, but it's going to be a unanimous decision. Like the judges are all going to be on the same side, but it might not be like a first round KO. Like I think that it's going to be like a lose with respect type of series a little bit here.
Yeah, they'll battle hard, but they're going to be on the wrong end of it.
One playoff betting strategy I was talking with somebody about last night, and I think this actually applies for not just hockey, but it could be basketball as well here. But in this series, especially, Gabe, game 1, if we see an over, game 2, I'm going under. Game 1, if we see an over, I'm going over game. It's like, okay, if we see absolute fireworks from game 1, we might see a defensive style. But if we
that's a good point, yeah. You know this. I'm a big under better in the hockey playoffs. When it comes to hockey, like basketball, I bet overs, but hockey, I look for unders. And great point, McInnis. You can't, and I've learned my lesson with this too in the past. We can't, that's why, McInnis, I'm not like, oh yeah, under. It's just the first game. It's not like, oh yeah, it's the playoffs now, they're all going under. Great call by you. Let's let it play itself out. And there's that sort of game 4 is going under. You know what I mean? As it goes on, they'll start to tighten up. It won't get bigger and crazier as it goes on. Like if you like the overs, to me, if there's chances of being more goals, it's coming in game 1, McInnis. You know what I'm saying? Like teams will tighten up, adjust as it goes on.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. We can't underestimate coaching adjustments. Like if one game starts off.
They'll change a line in the playoffs like that. They'll be like, this isn't working. We're changing. Yeah.
If Carolina, Ottawa is 6-4 on Saturday, on Monday, it could easily be 2-1. Wouldn't shock me in the slightest, right? It wouldn't shock me. And I couldn't agree more with what you said about the first round. Like people say I had a great year. I'm not going to bet as much in the playoffs. I'll tell you what, I'm probably more active in the first round of the playoffs than I am on any given regular day in the regular season. And last year, I'll tell you, I planned this perfectly before the playoffs. But this year, my in-laws are taking me away on vacation. I'm going to Portugal for the first time. I'm going to the start of the second round. I was like, well, fuck, I can't really complain about it.
Well, you want some symmetry. The last time the Canadiens won the Stanley Cup, I was in Portugal.
No way. Okay.
For the first round. The first round. That series I just talked about, the Nordiques, I missed it.
Okay.
And think, McInnis, there was no internet in those days. So it drove me crazy. There were some games on in bars and stuff, but with the time zone, like, they actually showed hockey. I watched the World's Hockey Championships there, and it was packed. I was shocked. I couldn't believe it. I'm in a bar in Portugal. It was fucking packed. Like 500, like a big, like, for hockey. I was like, this can't be real. And they're like, no, yeah, World Championships. Like, it's respected. Like, that's all. Like, I was like, wow. But I used to get the USA Today, and it was like the day after McInnis, right? So I'd be looking, I'd be like, oh, the Canadiens won 3-2 in overtime. Like, good. Like, right? I was a day behind, and you read a USA Today newspaper in Portugal. I go to the newsstand and get the American paper. I'm going to look at the score. And I got back like for the I got back just in time for the Islanders and the Kings. Like, I wasn't there. I was not there for the first 2 playoff rounds. So maybe you want symmetry. I was in Portugal. You're going to Portugal now. Maybe. And I'll tell you what. Now you got a computer and the internet. You'll be fine. You won't be living a day behind on the USA Today.
Awesome.
USA Today.
That's old school. Look, I love it, and I'm just saying I'm happy I'm not going to be waiting for the first round because, as you said, it kind of slows down after the first round chaos. All right, let's look at the next one up here, and you talked about that last game. It's going to be, our last series could be one where it has more respect than people think, but Colorado could be too much for them to handle. Let's get your thoughts here. The Montreal Canadiens, Tampa Bay Lightning. Don't be afraid if I end up knocking on your doorstep and saying, "Hey, Gabe, you still have some contacts for tickets in Montreal?" Because if they win this series, I think you and I are flying to Montreal together, and I'll be partying with you for a couple of days.
I don't know if I can afford it anymore.
Gabe, if you want to talk about a pathway, honestly, if you want to talk about a pathway, and I'm going to try and take my fan hat off here at this one. This is the ultimate. I truly believe, the more I think about this, and you know, because I'll never forget when you messaged me late and you were like, you didn't believe in them in 2021. I tried to actually, I'm almost like not positive enough as I should be. I think the winner of this series is going to the Stanley Cup final. This is the first time I've said that on a show. I think the winner of this series has a good, Montreal can beat Boston. Montreal can beat Buffalo. Montreal can beat Pittsburgh and Philadelphia and these teams. Tampa Bay will go to the Cup finals, I believe, if Montreal does not beat them.
I don't want to get ahead of myself too much that far. For the record, I picked Tampa and Colorado before the year started to face in the Stanley Cup, so I don't really want to fade myself. But listen, talking about the series is which series am I most looking forward to watching? This is right there. To me, Anaheim and Edmonton's just going to be fun. So, like, that's going to be a fun series to watch. I like the Sunday slates better, actually. Like, these series is better. Like, the Canadiens and Lightning, I'm obviously going to be invested in and I'm going to be into. The Bruins and Sabres is super cool. I mean, that's just a great, fun series. So, like, but I like the Sunday card. As far as the Canadiens and the Lightning are concerned.
Minus 190 average price right now.
Yeah, it's too high. That's my feeling here. But historically, the Lightning have owned the Canadiens. McInnis just talked about that Stanley Cup. Not the same. Caulfield and Suzuki were there, but they were young. Caulfield was a rookie, right? He was a kid, just coming out of college. So it's not, obviously not the same teams. But Tampa, and I've been around long enough. Tampa have always owned Montreal. It's just been one of those, the Lightning, huh? Like, you got to play the Lightning. To me, I don't like to take away much from regular season games, but to me, it was very big that the Canadiens beat the Lightning the last 2 times they played. And recently, too, right? They just played April 5th or whatever. Well, like they played like twice, guys, in the last month type thing, month and a half, whatever. Like, so it's not like, they played, but it was October and, it was Christmas, and it doesn't mean anything now. Like, no, I think it was more of a statement that, you know what? We can beat these guys. We can beat these guys. Now, this is a classic. I mean, McInnis, you want to talk about, and everyone, you want to talk about a fun hockey series. The young guns of the Montreal Canadiens, and this special group of Slafkovsky of what he did, and Caulfield coming into his own, and Lane Hudson, we know, like, all this Canadian, the team of the future, so to speak. And then you get this team in Tampa, man, like it's very MMA-like. Yeah, we used to be the champs, and we're the gatekeeper now. Like you got to come through us. Like we both want to get to that championship belt, that fight. Great series, McInnis. Full disclosure, I talked about betting over 5.5 in Minnesota and Dallas. This is the other one that I bet over 5.5 in. Yep. I don't see, and we got minus 165. I don't see this series. I don't see either team winning in 4. I don't see either team winning in 5. I think, and in fact, like we bet over 5.5 and we're going to win like right away. I think they're going to split in each other's buildings, actually. I think it's going to be 2-2 after 4 here. To me, listen, man, Dobish is a big key here, McInnis. Right? The goaltending of the Montreal Canadiens is a big key. Will the Canadiens defensively hold up against the veterans of the Tampa Bay Lightning? Fascinating coaching matchup with St. Louis and Cooper. Total toss-up, McInnis, this series. Total toss-up. Part of me says, you know what, Tampa in 7. And another part of me says, man, the Canadiens can beat these guys for real. And the Canadiens can win this series. So I don't want to take a cop-out here. My best bet over 5.5. My gut, and I got to go with my gut, McInnis. My gut says Tampa in 7.
And it breaks my heart to hear it, but it's going to be a hell of a series. I'm going to take.
You know what I mean, though? Like when you keep on, like you go back to your instinct, and like I'm just like,
you get Tampa in Game 7. Look, there's one team that I didn't want to play.
Well, hell, they beat us in 5 last time, so it's an improvement.
Exactly. Well, it should be an improvement. But look, if there's one coach and one team I didn't want to play, it's probably Tampa. I think Noah Dobson is huge.
Exactly.
We're going into the playoff series with actually fewer defensemen than last year because Carrier's hurt too, so that hurts. But one thing I'm going to mention, I think if you bet on the Canadiens, games 1 and game 2, you make money.
Yes.
They're going to be dogs in both. Take them game
and they're
1,
going to be small. They're going to be small favorites at home, guys. Pick them at home.
Yeah.
Like they look at the number, right? It speaks for itself. I think the number is ridiculous. I think the Canadiens plus 2.5 on the series handicap is nice. And I think the Canadiens can win this series, right? But I'm not a homer, and I'm not like dude, Canadian fans are like a little over the top now, McInnis. And you've slowed down a little bit because normally you're pretty gung-ho. You've slowed down a little bit, but I said last week, I said Tampa is the worst possible matchup for the Canadiens. Dude, I got like, not attacked, but like, I had like a lot of Canadian fans. I was like, oh, at least they still fucking pay attention. At least they still, like, you know what I mean? So I had a lot of people come at me. Oh, no, you didn't see them enough. Oh, you don't know. And I had a simple question for them. I said, yeah, because you think the Buffalo Sabres will be minus 280 series favorites? You think the Ottawa Senators will be minus 280 series favorites against the Canadiens?
Yeah.
Right? No, it was clear. Like, you just admitted it. This was the worst, like, out of the little sequence that could have happened, right? Yeah, we could play Ottawa. We could play Buffalo. We could play Boston. Let's be real. This was the worst scenario. Let's call it out for what it is.
Well, it is, and that's why I said, if you escape this series, all of a sudden your heart starts beating. You're like, we could actually go on a run here.
Oh, yeah. And suddenly you're getting the winner of the Sabres and Bruins, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Final point for me on this series is that take away the 3 best players on each team as far as forwards: Kucherov, Gensel, Point, Slavkovsky, Suzuki, and Caulfield. The rest of the guys are going to determine who wins this series.
And the rest of Tampa's guys are better. That's a great breakdown. I don't want to jump in. That's the way I see it.
We're going to find out because I have seen Kucherov and Gensel win them games. So we'll see.
Okay, and also, McInnis, you've seen the Canadiens more than I have this year. Dude, how many lines do they have? So, like, there's all this talk about, this line. Yeah, well, that line, you're going to be going against Braden fucking Point, guys. Like, they're pretty good at shutting other lines down. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's the thing. The Habs can shut other teams down. I just don't know if they can score themselves. Like, you asked about this year and said I kind of cooled off a bit. The funny thing is, I felt like I had more confidence a few years ago with them because I was playing with house money. Now,
yeah, you know what? I had confidence a couple of years ago. Carey Price.
Yeah.
No, I'm dead serious. I was like, we got Carey Price. Fuck you. We'll be fine. That was my attitude. Now I'm like, yeah, Dobish is good, but let's be real. It's going to be like.
I'm going to say this, and I saw you. I know we got to get going here. But I saw you saying, okay, hold on, the team of the future, the destiny. The one thing I'm going to say is that the odds make sense for this series. I get it, but the best players on this team are 26 years old or younger. Like, this is the best. I know that nobody likes to think like this. We don't want to be like the Maple Leafs fans, the Plan the Parade magazine.
No, you're right. It's a young team still, right? It's a transition. I know it's a perfect trend, but don't forget too, they do have guys that have played in the Stanley Cup before, right? Yeah. Slavkovsky's played in the Olympics. Like, they're not. Yeah. No, I know, but they're not like a rookie young team. Like, they're a mix. You know what I mean? But this isn't a do-all. Oh, you better win or they're a failure. Exactly. You know, it'd be nice to win a fucking series though, right? With this unit.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's the thing. Like, that'll start to build. They don't win this, then next year it's like, oh boy, you almost become like the Leafs. You better win.
A lot of radio shows I listen to, like, some of them were like, what the hell are you doing, Kent, not doing anything at the deadline? And apparently he had a big trade lined up, but it didn't work. And it's like, come on, man. Like, these guys.
No, the team is building. Exactly. They're building.
100 points. But you know what? At the end of the day, this might not be the year. We'll see what they can do.
No, but they can win. Give me the Canadiens plus 2.5 games in the series. Series goes 7 games. There we go.
All right. Let's focus just on the last 2 games, on just game ones as a whole here. Boston, Buffalo. Minus 160 was the opening number. Now we've seen Boston take some money. Buffalo at home, they win the Atlantic. Gabe, your game 1 prediction for Boston and Buffalo?
Under.
All right.
Listen, and it's 6 right now. I'm going to pay the price for the half puck. I'm going to make this thing 6.5. I'm trying to look right now, but I don't have it up right now. It'll probably be like minus 135 or something like that, 140 or something. Why are the Boston Bruins here? Goaltending. I just talked about Carey Price. The Bruins are a really good team, guys, and to say this is going to be a fun series. And they don't like each other, too. I'm really looking forward to this one. Talked about how good Boston is at home. Buffalo are a great home team. I think home ice really is going to come into play here. I think we got a longer series, but Boston don't want to get into a track meet with Buffalo. Playoff hockey. Swayman's on top of his game right now. I'm going to go with the under, McInnis. Give me that's the game I like. Give me the under in the Buffalo Boston game.
And we're talking game 1. Buffalo hosting the Boston Bruins. Of course, this game is 7:30 Eastern time on Sunday night. NHL Stanley Cup Playoffs. Give me the Bruins. Give me the Bees here. I mentioned as a Habs fan, I wanted the Bruins.
I don't hate it.
But you know what? Game 1, I'm a big fan of experience versus inexperience. Everyone hears me talk about it. And look, when you talk about some of these guys and let's look at the big bodies here. Zadorov, Charlie McAvoy. You've got a lot of big defensemen back there. You've got Tanner Jeannot. You've got a lot of guys. And I think that Buffalo, you got to prove it to me. I could care less about your regular season. We've seen it from every single team. How many?
No, I love your game 1 look. Let me just throw something in here.
Yep.
As far as a bounce back, Boston game 1, Buffalo game 2.
100%.
If you look at guys at these other teams, Carolina Hurricanes hosting game 1. Because I didn't want to be predictable like all the home teams, but like Carolina hosting game 1. Carolina's players have been in the playoffs every year. This is not a big deal for them, right? Not a big deal. First round of the playoffs, not a big deal. Dallas Stars, come on, whatever. These guys like, oh, it's the first round of the playoffs. No, not a big deal. Sidney Crosby, oh my gosh, the first round of the playoffs at home, not a big deal, right? Go down the list here. Colorado Avalanche, home team. Not at all, oh my God, we're in the playoffs. Tampa Bay Lightning, same thing. Buffalo Sabres, first time in 14 years. First time in 14 years they've been in the playoffs, guys. How many times have we seen McInnis? It backfires. We see it in Montreal. It backfires. Everybody is so excited in the city. The players get caught up in it, bro. These Sabre players, Buffalo's a small town. How do you avoid it? Everywhere to go, the Sabres. Sabres. Dude, now they're playing. You know, I have chills now and goosebumps thinking about what their little national anthem and all that shit's going to be when, like, that feeling. How many times have we seen the Oilers like that at home, McInnis, in the playoffs? They play it Metallica. You're like, holy shit, the fans are going crazy. They're losing 4-0 10 minutes in.
Yeah. The first period starts, the game is over.
Boom. I'm seeing it like, yeah, that deflation, like, oh my God. And that, boom.
So
And it just comes down.
Game
great call, Bruins. Sabres could get caught up in their own hype and the excitement and then lose game one and game two. It's like, hey, guys, forget about all this bullshit. We got a hockey game to win. Tune out the playoffs. Like, it's just a hockey game. I like it. I like it.
See the headlines now, right? The overreactions, the headlines, the
articles. Oh, yeah. Sabres overwhelmed by nerves in game one. Exactly.
Yeah. All right. We really got to get out of here. Utah and Vegas.
Give me Vegas. Give me Vegas in game one. I'll shut up. Give me Vegas in game one.
Vegas in game one. Look, Utah, speaking of overwhelmed, we'll see if they can do it. But I think we're going to see goals in that one. I'll tell you, I think game two is going to be an under. Game one's going to be an over. That's my thoughts. I think we're going to see some goals. I think we're going to see 5-3 Vegas win. I think Utah goes down with a fight, but I think Vegas is the better team. Last but not least, Gabe, Tortorella, 7-0-1 since taking over. You've heard me say this before. They played the Canucks twice. They played the Flames. They played the Kraken. Come on, get out of here, guys, with that. It's all about the playoffs. So we'll look towards that Saturday.
He might get a cup. We'll see. Well, if he wins another cup, man, this motherfucker, he's already going to be in the Hall of Fame. Everybody gets in the Hall of Fame, but like his legend really going. And just quickly on the way out, give me the Oilers on Monday night, minus 170. And that price will go up because everyone's going to take the Oilers. So jump in now if you like it.
You know what? I was ready, Gabe, to fade whoever played the Ducks. Or sorry, bet on whoever played the Ducks. I don't believe in the Ducks at all. I think they're phonies. Speaking of inexperience, a lot of young guys on that Anaheim Ducks team. Gabe, an hour with you, it feels like 20
Fun
minutes.
Stuff.
We could talk hockey together all day long. Thanks so much. I'll be talking to you throughout the week. And good luck, man. Take care.
Thanks, guys.
Always great having Gabe. Thanks so much, Gabe Morency. Make sure you guys check him out at Sports Rage. Guys, for all of our best bets, all of our picks for the full playoffs, 175 full playoff package, series bets, sides, totals, props, you name it. Forget about getting one play at a time. We got a big play going on Saturday. Forget about getting one play at a time. Get the full playoff package, 175 series bets, sides, totals, props, you name it. Every single thing inside one package. This has been the Pre-Scout, brought to you by the HOF app, hofapp.com. Make sure you guys use the promo code Andrew to get 7 free days in HOF app and half off your first subscription. Leave a like on the way out. Comment your Stanley Cup winner. That will do it for the Pre-Scout for today. Good luck, guys. Enjoy the games. I'll see you next time.